Hello, this is Group 1 of BACC CA2 project, and today we have myself, Melody, Geraldine, Jingning, as well as Samuel, and we will be covering part 3 of the project. So I'll be going through part A, which is about how source documents are translated to business transactions, and I'll be giving 2 examples of the source documents. So firstly, we have this source document. And through this source document, we can tell that 3,700 worth of consultancy services from Falcon Trading Private Limited has not been received. In a sense, Falcon Trading Private Limited didn't pay the company 3,700 for consultancy services which the company provided them for the month of March 2021. So an invoice is basically a commercial document issued by a seller to a buyer, and in this source document, the buyer is Falcon Trading Private Limited, since they are supposed to pay for the consultancy services which the company provided. And when we translate this to a business transaction, the transaction will be on 31st March 2021. And we'll be debiting the consultancy services receivable 3,700 and consultancy services revenue credit 3,700. We debit the consultancy service receivable is because receivable is an asset, and when an asset increases, we will debit the amount, and when revenue increase, because it's an income, and when income increase, we will credit the amount. So moving on to the next source document. So through this source document, we can tell that the company owe 3 of these part-time staff salary, and the company owe a total of 5,000 to these 3 part-time staff salary. So they basically haven't been paid for the month for some reason. So when we translate this to a business transaction, it will also be on 31st March 2021. And salary expense will be debit 5,000 and salary payable credit 5,000. We debit salary expenses because when expense increase, we will debit it, the amount, and when salary payable, a payable is a liability. So when liability increase, we would credit the amount.
For part B, the 2 concepts that we use in this project, firstly is the accounting period concept, where the lifespan of the business is broken into regular intervals. The financial statements will only be prepared at the end of each accounting period. This concept allows us to see if the business was making a profit or losing money. As shown in the trial balance on the right, its opening balance is as 1st of March 2021. This shows that the accounting period only starts on the 1st of March 2021. Similarly to the bank statement, which statement period wrote March 2021. The next concept is the accrual concept. The meaning of accrual is something that becomes due, especially an amount of money that is yet to be paid or received at the end of the accounting period. From the invoice email on the right, it wrote, "Please issue invoice amounting to 3,700 for consultancy services provided for the month of March to Falcon Trading Pty.Ltd." This shows that 3,700 worth of consultancy services from Falcon Trading Pty.Ltd has not been received despite the service has been occurred. This causes the consultancy receivable to be debit while the consultancy revenue to be credit. Hence, it is considered under the accrual concept of accrued revenue.
So now I'll be moving on to part C, where I'll be explaining and demonstrating to you the usefulness of the ABSS accounting software. So one of the useful features of the ABSS is the ability for you to easily manage and set up your accounts list. So clicking on the setup function, we go to easy set up the system. which brings us to our accounts list. Here, we are able to easily edit accounts, as well as the account type, as well as to create new accounts. And name them. It also allows me to easily set up the start of my financial year and input my opening balances. A second useful function of the ABSS software is also the ability for me to freely and easily manage my transaction journal. Since it's digitalized, it's much easier for me to change or edit mistakes inside my transaction journal. So clicking on record entry, say for example that I have missed out a salaries payable scenario, I will set my date and simply put in the account that are affected. So in this case, it will be salary expense as well as salaries payable. And by doing so, my transaction journal will be updated, as you can see here. Likewise, if I accidentally made an additional entry, I can just click on the entry and right click and delete. Or if I inputted wrong values, I can simply change the values to my liking. Lastly, ABSS also allows you automatically produces financial documents for you. In addition, these documents can be produced from previous years or previous time periods, not just your recent time period. What I mean by this is if I go under reports and click on accounts, for example, if I'm trying to open my standard balance sheet for a position of single financial position, I can select my period of March and display. In this case, my single financial position will be as of March 2021. ABSS also allows me to instantly display my profit and loss statements as well as my trial balance, as you can see here.
Hi, is it recording? Hi, I'm Jingming and I'm doing part D of the BACC CA2 project. I'll be explaining the areas where ABSS accounting software could improve. Firstly, ABSS can improve by already having terms like cash, accounts payable for us, ready for us without us having to change each of them individually and manually. An example can be seen here where we had to change the account by ourselves. This can save us a lot of time as we can just go ahead and do up the transactions instead of having to change each term before doing so. Next, another improvement ABSS can make is to compute the ratios for the month. They can only compute the current ratio right now, and there's no other ratios like quick ratio, average inventory, asset turnover, or return of assets, as you can see here. Being able to compute the other ratios can save us a lot of time as we do not have to do them manually. And furthermore, since we have already entered the opening balances into ABSS, it's actually possible for them to compute the different ratios. We have come to the end of our presentation. Thank you.